Hey folks, Justin from Tackle Tactics. Today we're going to talk about how to rig and fish a versatile addition to the ZMan 10 times tough soft plastic range. This is the ZMan 4-inch Finesse ShadZ.
That was a good 8.
That sounds pretty solid. What a fish, that's a beautiful fish. Alright, so our ZMan 4-inch Finesse ShadZ is a jerkbait style plastic with a difference. This plastic is extremely versatile because of its shape. It's got a nice narrow profile and it's got a realistic baitfish body on it with a long worm-like tail and a little bulbous end on this plastic. So all of these features are designed this way to give action and realism to this plastic. So that realistic baitfish profile, that worm-like tail being naturally buoyant, up moving around, that little bulbous end, if we retrieve it at speed, gets a little shimmy up like a baitfish trying to get away. And we've also got this belly slot on this plastic to make weedless rigging easy. And we can also stow some scent in there. And a nice ribbed back on there as well that holds scent well, feels real, and looks real as well. So it's a beautiful profile and we've had great success on it, fishing for snapper, flathead, brim, all sorts of species eat this plastic. Color wise, we've got some great colors in the range, real nice natural baitfish profile, nice natural colors and some dark colors in that range, as well as light natural colors for that clear water and bright days. So getting fish to eat this plastic, it's all about rigging it on the right jig heads. And I've got a bundle of options here to show you today. So I'll quickly work through those and we'll look at the best way to rig and fish this 4-inch jerkbait style profile. So first cab off the rank, we fished it on a HeadlockZ Finesse Jighead. So that Finesse Jighead is a Gamakatsu fine wire hook, all about pinning fish. So this is a finesse plastic, so we'll often fish it on light gear and fish it nice and slow, lots of pauses, get that tail up in the air. You can see quite a large profile, lots of movement, but when a fish bites that, it folds away and it finds the hook really well. So it does catch fish from all sizes, from brim through to snapper and all sorts of things, right through to high-speed retrieves for tuna. So in that fine wire hook, Gamakatsu fine wire, we know that on the HeadlockZ Finesse Jigheads, there's an L for light wire. We know that's the fine wire hook, and it rigs beautifully on a size 1, 1.0 and 2.0 in that fine wire hook. We also have painted options in that HeadlockZ Finesse, in the HeadlockZ Finesse UV Jighead. So the UV is a painted option and it's available in a size 1 and a size 1.0, which allows us to match the plastic to our jig head color for added realism, or we can contrast that head. We could drop a bright orange head on this plastic here to give it some pop. So it allows us to mix and match our head color and our plastic color, and that's available again in that fine wire. So I'll have an L for light wire in a 1 and a 1.0. DemonZ is another option. So our DemonZ jig head is another painted option with the addition of eyes. So that's a really cool looking jig head on that plastic. And again, we've got the option of a 1 or a 1.0 or a 2.0 to suit that plastic. And that's in a Gamakatsu hook as well, in that 1, 1.0, 2.0. So the size 1 we might use if we're fishing a large profile for brim, trying to upgrade or get those big brim to bite. Step up to our 1.0 as a good all-rounder, or that 2.0 if we're specifically targeting flathead or snapper or larger species on this 4-inch Finesse ShadZ. So beautiful profile, and you can see that 2.0 gives us plenty of hook clearance. If we're fishing in a lot of heavy weed and that sort of thing, we might also go down to that smaller hook in the 1 to reduce the hook exposure so that we're fouling up less as well. So the option in that DemonZ painted jig head, a bunch of colors in a 1 and a 1.0 and a 2.0 again in that model of jig head. Hidden weight system, very, very popular for guys that are chasing brim and other species that are holding up around structure. So whether you're fishing pontoons, mangrove edges, when you want that really natural slow fall, then that hidden weight is a great option. And you can see here we've got a hidden weight inside that plastic. So the weight is concealed inside the plastic, very natural. So all there is for the fish to hit is that hook point if they do come and attack that plastic. You can see it's concealed nicely inside there. And again, we've got a size 1 or a 1.0 in that Gamakatsu hook in the hidden weight system to get that hook set on that plastic. So you can twitch that across the surface, you can let it slow fall, you can drop it down beside pontoons and get that big bite on that Finesse ShadZ on that hidden weight. And then from there, we step to a more heavy wire hook option. So those are some light wire hook options. On our heavy wire, the most popular jig head out there in that heavy wire hook is the HeadlockZ HD. So we go from that Gamakatsu light wire to that mustard heavy wire. Again, I'll just run through quickly. You can see on the pack here, the colors are reversed on the packaging to make them easy to tell which is which on the shelf. And we've got our L for light wire and our H for heavy wire. So if you're fishing finesse, light drags, light leaders and that sort of thing, you're probably going to want the light wire. If you're going to try and stop some bigger snapper and that sort of thing on this plastic, or throw it at a tuna and retrieve at high speed, you want that heavy wire hook. So hook sizes vary a little bit because we go from a Gamakatsu hook to a mustard hook. So in our mustard, we can run this rigs nicely. In terms of hook comparison, it's a 2, a 1 and a 1/0. In our lighter wire, we've got our 1, 1/0 and 2/0. In our heavy wire, we've got our 2, 1 and 1/0. And that's because it's a different brand of hook, so the hook size varies slightly. But as you can see again, with that nice heavy size 2 on there, you can finesse fish that, get it right into structure and that sort of thing with that hook with less gape, or you've got that larger gape when you want more hook exposure for targeting bigger fish and fish that will throw that jig head out a lot easier, like barra and those sorts of things as well. So again, with all of those jig heads, there's lots of weight options to suit the shallows right through to deeper water. So heavy wire hook option. That same hook is also used in our RevlockZ jig head. So the RevlockZ is an underspin jig head with a blade underneath that adds flash and vibration to that presentation. So you can hop this on the bottom and get that finesse, tail up movement and that sort of thing. When you retrieve it, that blade will spin, create more noise, create more flash, attract fish to the presentation, drops to the bottom again, and the fish is curious of what's going on there, comes over and eats it. So that RevlockZ is a way to add flash and vibration. And that, again, because it's that heavy wire hook, 2, 1, 1/0 in that mustard black nickel chemically sharpened hook. So again, that size 2, you can see quite small, that 1/0 gives us that additional clearance. And our RevlockZ is available in gold blades and nickel blades, in a rounder Colorado blade and that long thin willow blade. So this guy fishes slower and higher in the water column. This guy will run faster at deeper depths. Gold is very popular for tannin stained water and fresh water. Silver, very popular for clear water and also for fishing in the salt. So that's our RevlockZ jig head. And then we move into the NedlockZ Jigheads. So our NedRig system is built around the natural buoyancy of the ZMan plastic and that mushroom shaped head. So we can hop and twitch this plastic, pause it, and it drops virtually straight to the bottom and sits and stands upright like that. So this tail will float up and move around. We can hop it and then just pause it again and it will sit up. So it's a great way of fishing tight to structure or fishing small pockets in the weed where you want to move minimal movement and have that plastic doing the most for you. So that's the NedRig system. And our TT NedlockZ. So our NedlockZ jig head in a 1/15 ounce number 2 and also in a size 1 in a 1/10, 1/6 and a 1/5. So a variety of weights in that size 2 or that size 1 hook in that NedlockZ, that NedRig system. So beautiful stand-up presentation. We also have a weedless option in the NedlockZ. So that's the NedlockZ EWG. So same weights, 1/15, 1/10, 1/5, 1/6. And that's all in a size 1 hook, which fits this plastic beautifully. You can see there, it's weedless, so we can throw it right into lilies, right into weed, rocks, timber, whatever. We can get that guy in there and it's not going to snag that hook, but nice thin profile, stretchy, 10 times tougher Laztec plastic. Fish bites it, clears that plastic, fish on. So that allows you to get this plastic right up in the structure, drive jacks crazy, barra, all sorts of species, bass, lots of things that love to hide in structure will love to eat this plastic, and it's protected by that weedless jig head. So it's the NedlockZ, we get that stand up with the NedRig system, but we also get that weedless advantage of that NedlockZ EWG. So that's our first weedless option. There's also a couple of other weedless options for fishing this plastic. So have a look at this guy here. That is the ChinlockZ Finesse. Again, makes our plastic weedless, so we can throw it right up into reeds and lilies and things and twitch it out, get Saratoga, bass, all that sort of thing. Also throw it up in the jack drains and twitch it out of those little drains and that sort of thing. And again, that plastic, fish bites it and it clears that plastic very easily. So hook sizes that suit in that guy, we've got our size 1 and our size 1/0. So if it's all about getting that hook fit into the mouth of the fish, then it's a 1. If you want additional hook clearance, then that's a 1/0 on that one there, and that's the TT ChinlockZ in a 1 and a 1.0. Identifiable by that red and black packaging. And again, it'll say on there an L, that's a light wire hook for maximum penetration. So that's unweighted if we want to twitch it across the top. Why would I want to twitch this plastic across the top? Because it looks a lot like a gar. A nice thin profile, whether it's a gar or a yellowtail pike or something, we can swim it across the surface. Otherwise, we've got our weighted option, which is the the SnakelockZ Finesse. So SnakelockZ with our head weight, ChinlockZ without our head weight. So again, that size 1 and size 1.0 are perfect to rig that guy. And that's if we want to utilize that natural stand up, all that tail movement, but we want to put it down deep in the structure, but we don't want to get snagged up on that structure. So we can wiggle it and bounce it around down there in the timber, drive fish crazy until they eat that, clear the hook, and we've got our fish on. And again, our SnakelockZ, with our SnakelockZ heads, we can clip that off and clip it back on again. So I'll grab this guy. So there's our hook off. So unweighted, clip it back on again, and away we go. So that's our SnakelockZ Jighead, and that's our other weedless option, so unweighted or weighted. So there you go, a stack of options there. You can sort of pick your way through that and see what will work for you. But we do have those options of finesse hooks, if we're fishing finesse style for brim and flathead and those sorts of things, through our painted heads with eyes, also that hidden weight system for fishing up around that structure. And then we get into our heavy wire hooks in our HD, also that RevlockZ with the added blade for flash and vibration, our Ned rig system in a weedless and a standard, and then into our weedless options with that ChinlockZ Finesse and SnakelockZ Finesse. So a stack of different ways you can rig this deadly jerkbait style profile. With a difference, it's definitely, there's nothing out there like this thing. Fish love it, it attracts fish, it catches fish, so check it out, give it a go. I'd probably throw a bit of Procure Super Gel on that in either like a sardine pilchard or a mullet, a bait fishy type scent, and that'll attract fish to that as well, so that we can get those fish there and get them to eat. Righto, ZMan 4-inch Finesse ShadZ, check it out, deadly profile, all the best with the fishing. Cheers.